2025 is here and the rules for online business are changing dramatically. And if you're a course creator or a membership site owner, what worked yesterday might not cut it today. So the question is, are you ready to adapt? And that's why I'm here with the amazing Amy Porterfield. And today we're gonna break down 3 trends specifically. And we're gonna talk about what they are, what they mean to you as a creator. Plus, we've got a really incredible announcement to share with the world as it relates to membership.io. So with that, Amy, how the heck are you, buddy?
I'm good, my friend. I'm excited to talk about 2025 and all the changes. I love change. I love when things transition into new opportunities. And so I feel like we've got some good opportunities to talk about today.
Yes, we do. So let's just do a quick intro for anybody that isn't familiar with us. So hello, everybody. My name's Stu McLaren. For the nearly 2 decades, like this is crazy pants, nearly 2 decades, I have been focused on one specific thing, and that is helping people be able to generate recurring revenue with memberships. I'm also the proud new author of the book, Predictable Profits. Come on! Yes. So super excited about that. But this has been my world, is helping people online create recurring revenue with memberships. Now, Amy, you have a different story. I'm going to hand it over to you to talk about yours.
Okay, so I don't have 2 decades yet. 16 years ago, I quit my very last corporate job. I worked with Tony Robbins, and I went out on my own. And it's been a wild, crazy journey, but I too have one area that I have focused on, which is digital courses. So for many years now, I've taught people how to create and launch digital courses and get their businesses started from the ground up. And it's been my absolute passion. I think it's really fun when Stu and I come together. We tease that it's like peanut butter and jelly because courses and memberships just go so well together. So we've been best friends for a long time, and we've been in the same industry doing very similar things.
Yeah, it's been an incredible friendship, and certainly we've saw the impact that, I look at what Amy's been doing on the course side and the impact that she's had. So before we go on though, Amy, I've got to ask you, what's been one favorite story of a client or customer that has launched, a digital course in the recent years?
There's one story that I've told way too many times, but it's just such a special story. There's a woman in my community. Her name is Danira. She's a single mom of 3, and her mom lived with her at the time as well. And she, in her community, she lives in LA, she would make caramel candy apples, and she would sell them to people in her community for birthdays and parties and all of that. And she essentially did it out of her home. And she found the opportunity to create digital courses, went through my Digital Course Academy program. And with her very first launch, she made $60,000. And that's a lot of money for one launch, especially your first one. But she went on to repeat this and do better and better. She retired her mom. Her kids are thriving. She was able to send one of her daughters to a very expensive college and just make sure she was set up to win. So I've followed her throughout the years since her success, and it's really fun to see how she just shines online.
And you know what's crazy about that too? Is candy apples.
I know. Stu, not only that, the caramel she gets from a store. It's not even homemade, but no one knows where she gets it. So they want to know all the details and how to work with it and all of that. That's my favorite part of the story.
It's amazing. And this is the incredible time that we live in, is that we can have a passion or an interest in a particular subject, and we could turn it into a full-blown business. It reminds me of Tara Phillips in our community. She was an educator for 25 years, specifically working in the classroom with kids with autism. During that time, she figured out and created some resources to help these kids, and then had the light bulb moment, which was, my gosh, there's probably other educators who could benefit from this. She turned that into a membership, and now, just over a year and a half ago, she, resigned from her job, went full-time in her membership. This year, she crossed the $1 million milestone. So it's kind of like she had been doing this, trying it, and then it was like this year, she more than doubled her business and crossed that $1 million milestone. And again, I, like you, just get lit up by everyday people using their experiences, their passions, their joys to experiment and start. A $60,000 first time launch is like mind blowing. It's like creates incredible momentum, and it could lead to all kinds of amazing businesses. And so that's why we're here. We're here to talk about like courses and memberships, and specifically like what is changing going into this particular year and why people must take a moment, pause, and really take in what we're about to say. So Amy, you ready to dive in?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay. So trend number one for everybody as we get going into this is using AI to streamline the creative process. Now, I want to be clear on this because I'm not talking necessarily about using AI to replace you and your creativity.
Right.
Because look, nobody wants a watered down version of you. What we want though is we want to use AI to streamline that creative process. Take things that took days and turn it into hours. Things that took hours, turn them into minutes. And what that does is that creates more time for you to leverage your number one advantage. And that is your humanness. Your humanness, like how you show up for community, how you inject your creativity into your work, and using that saved time to really be more human, because that's the thing that nobody can replicate. That's the thing that robots, no matter how good they get, they can't change. This shift in energy around AI and really using it to streamline the whole creative process, from brainstorming to, outlining to all the things when it comes to creation, it just speeds everything up and gives us more time to be human. Amy, what are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely agree. One of the biggest challenges that my students face is getting stuck in the content creation phase. They get stuck there, they don't know what to do, and it's really easy just to be like, I can't do this. It's too hard, and give up. And I used to say this, I'm guilty of saying, be careful of AI. Everything that it's going to give you is going to be watered down and you really have to work with it. Actually, now that I've really gotten into, let's say, ChatGPT, I call it feeding the beast. The more you give it, the more information about you, your messaging, your students, whatever you're doing, it could help you immensely with very spot on messaging. Sure, you're going to tweak some things, but it can get you unstuck, because not only can it give you incredible content if you feed the beast and give it who your ICA is, what your messaging is about, all of that good stuff, but also it can speed up those tedious tasks. The ones that you don't want to do, they take forever and they take you away from what you just said, your humanness, your special spark that you give throughout all of your trainings and to all your students and your clients. And so I love that it can transform how you create courses. I've seen some of my course creators use AI to outline an entire lesson or multiple lessons. Sure, they're always going to tweak it, but really get good content out of that, which means they can focus on teaching and showing up and really helping their students get really big results.
I think that's the shift, right? It's no longer about like the creation process per se, it's about the delivery of that experience. And we can pour way more energy there now because we're saving energy elsewhere. I just want to ask you real quick, is there a specific example of like something that you're doing with ChatGPT that out of the box is not going to get us the result, but as you said, feeding the beast in a particular way is getting an exponentially better result?
Absolutely. One of the ways we feed the beast is we give it our ICA, Ideal Customer Avatar Guides, and our brand messaging, and all of our core content. Now, this is the greatest part, we use ChatGPT to create all of that initially. So what I tell my students is write a list of everything that could allow you to feed the beast, to get it to be really specific to who you are and what you do. Write a list of all the things you want, and then go into ChatGPT and say, ask me all the questions you need to ask me to create an ideal customer avatar guide for my ICA. It will do so. You clean it up, you make it great. Now you're going to feed it back. Like we have done that for the last month or so, and we have a library of things that we can give ChatGPT, and it's why we're getting such great results with it.
I want to just talk about one quick little shift here, and that is the way in which you are asking ChatGPT to ask you the questions in order for it to be able to produce the best outcome. It's no longer just like, a prompt of, hey, can you create me an outline of X?
That's
it's like,
how I started. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was before. Today, it's about like, almost challenging ChatGPT like a consultant. Like, you ask me, like, you get the best out of me, I'll give it to you, and then you use that to, do all the other things.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible for sure. Remember what we learned at your mastermind a while ago, where one of the people we were with, he said when he gets results from ChatGPT, he'll say, okay, so that's level 1 thinking. What would you give me if I asked you for level 2 thinking?
Yes.
Have you tried that yet?
It is the greatest, add-on prompt.
Yes, I thought that was genius. So everyone who heard that, try it out. It's really, you will get something different.
Yeah. One other thing that I'll just give a tip in terms of the way we're using it to streamline our process. So like you, Amy, we've been doing this for decades. And throughout that time, we've got literally thousands of stories of people that have used our, trainings and materials and got incredible results. But remembering and organizing all of those stories, it's a freaking nightmare, right?
I need to know, what did you do exactly?
Okay, so I learned this little tip and hack from our mutual friend, Bonnie Christine. But we used to have all of the stories like organized in like a spreadsheet, but even then it was still really cumbersome. So one of the things that she did was she put all of those stories into one gigantic document, like a Google Doc. And then she exported that as a PDF. And then she uploaded that to ChatGPT. And now being able to find the stories that you need when you're ready to go on a podcast or you need for a particular webinar or presentation, it's so much faster because now you can be like, what was the name of that one person who, you may remember a particular thing about it, and boom, it's going to give you the story and it's going to give you the back, story on it. Or, hey, I'm jumping on a health podcast today. Can you give me like 5 stories that would be relevant for that market? So much faster and easier.
Such a great idea. I'm absolutely stealing that one.
Okay. Trend number 2 is using AI to deliver more personalized experiences. This whole second trend is all about personalization. Before, we used to give everybody the exact same cookie cutter experience, and that used to work. But today's students, they are expecting so much more and have a lot more unique needs. I just want you to think about this as an audience. I want you to think about like when people come into your course or your membership, not everybody is going to be at the same level. You're going to have some people that are going to be more beginners. You're going to have some people that are going to be more advanced. Now, if a beginner comes in and you're giving everybody the same experience and they see advanced lessons, Amy, how do you think that a beginner would feel if they saw advanced lessons?
They'd say, I'm not in the right place. I need a refund.
Yeah, they're going to be overwhelmed and they're going to be like, I'm out of here. Okay, so then let's go the opposite end. Let's say you've got an advanced person who comes in and they see beginner lessons. How are they going to feel, Amy?
What a waste of money. I was told that this was for me and it's not. Now I don't trust you as much and I want a refund.
Exactly. So here we are, we're trying to create one experience for everybody, but we're not ending up serving anyone. And so it can create a tricky situation. Now what I want everybody to imagine that a beginner comes in and they see beginner content. An advanced person comes in and they see advanced content. All within the same course, all within the same membership. It's a totally different experience that feels tailored to them. And this is what like big companies like, the Amazons and the YouTubes and the Spotifys, they're all doing with the experience in the way in which we consume that content. Now, we have the opportunity to be able to create a similar experience, serving people the right content based on where they're at in their journey. This is where things get exciting, Abe.
It's so true. I can't help but say this. I know we're going to talk about it later, but this is where membership.io takes the cake from every other platform. I can't wait till you talk about that personalization. But here's the thing. I have seen firsthand with course creators the fact that once they feel like the content is tailored specifically for them, completely transforms their experience. They're raving about it. They're telling their friends about it. They're actually getting in there and doing the work. One of my DCA students, she used AI to create personalized course tracks for beginners and for her advanced learners. This is one thing that, I don't know if you mentioned this, her completion rates shot through the roof, because now that they get in there and there's 2 tracks, it's personalized, they kind of get to choose, and we'll talk about this later, where they're going to land. So they're self-selecting and getting exactly what they want. They're more likely to finish your course. And we know people struggle with getting to the end of digital courses. This is one solution to that.
And this is also the reason that you and I have had longevity in the online space, is that we care and obsess over the results that our people get.
Maybe too much sometimes.
Yeah. But with that, like, now more than ever, we have the opportunity to be able to meet our people right where they're at. And as you said, it drives up consumption, it drives up completion rates, which in the membership world, that drives up retention, which is like, you know, the holy grail of memberships. And I can only imagine too, as people complete more, they get better results, and that's going to lead to more sales of courses. Am I right?
Absolutely. So that's such a great point. I didn't even think about that. They're going to, faster than normal, they're going to say, what else you got? And like, that's like the greatest question you can get.
Yeah. So trend number 2 is personalization. And now more than ever, it is increasingly more important. And PS, it's also an incredibly easy and effective way to separate yourself from all of your competitors. Because while they're still stuck in cookie cutter mode, giving everybody the same experience, you have now created a tailored, personalized experience that is getting better results for your people. So huge trend. Okay, trend number 3. This is leveraging deep AI integration. Now, I know we're talking a lot about AI here today, Ames.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that this third trend about leveraging deep AI integration, this is where things get really exciting. Because the reality of it is that, well, let me just ask you, when you look at all of your expenses for the year, Aim, what would you say are like one of your, top expenses as a company?
Facebook advertising or paid advertising is huge for us.
Facebook ads, same with us. That's one of our top expenses. What would be another top expense?
Well, overhead, team.
Exactly. Okay.
But did I get the right one? I was like, what is he looking for? But that is our biggest second expense, is team and contractors.
That's our second biggest expense as well. So I share that because as business owners, we are always looking at ways in which we can save money in our businesses. And similarly, we need help. Like, it's not like we're just gonna be like, oh, it's time to save money, so we're just gonna,
no big deal.
I'm back to being a solopreneur. Like, no, it doesn't work like that, right?
No.
But this is where things get really fun because, with deep AI integration, now we can do things that we just couldn't do before inside of our courses and inside of our memberships. And I'll give you just a couple examples. Like, when somebody asks a question inside of our community, the faster we can get somebody a response, the more progress they're going to make. Because it could be the teeny tiny little question, and if people don't get an answer to it, they just spin on that question and they just don't move forward. They don't implement, they don't take action. But if they can get an answer right away, like in the moment when they're working on the thing, it just eliminates that friction and keeps everybody moving forward. And so today, we can have what we call like AI assistants who are in our community, where the moment a question is asked, an AI assistant can provide an answer and can direct people to the trainings, whether it's in the course or in the membership, that specifically is answering the question that they're asking. So whether it's like supporting an assistant in your community, whether it's answering questions, whether it's suggesting next steps, almost like a coach, or guiding people to different content in our library, like, the bottom line is that we can serve our members at a whole new level today than we ever have before. And these AI assistants are trained on you, your course material, and how to best serve your people. So being able to have that almost like coach-like experience available 24/7, it's gonna be a huge win for people.
Huge win. I mean, I just think about Imagine somebody comes into your course or your membership and their first challenge they have is in the middle of the night because they're working at 2 a.m. and you're not in the group at that time. But right then they're dedicated, they're making it happen. They're busy, they're a busy mom and they don't have a lot of time. So they're finding the time. They're working within your program and they get stuck. They cannot move forward. And sometimes, our students just have to get this one question answered before they can move on. Believe me, it happens all the time. But imagine if you could then deliver a resource exactly at the time they needed it and what they needed to overcome that challenge in the moment. It just changes everything. And we really, until recently, haven't had that opportunity like we have now. It gives them momentum. It keeps them moving forward. And for creators scaling their businesses, this level of support, it's a lifesaver. So you're able to help more students succeed without stretching yourself too thin, but they don't look at it because it's so personalized. They're not looking at it like, oh, they have a robot in there, no one's helping me. All they care about is, where do I post my question? And if you give me a great answer or resource back, I'm golden. And that is what we're able to do now.
Yeah, it makes me chuckle because almost like the version before this is I think about texting and phone. My wife, Amy, way more prefer to text than she will to call. If there's a support, right? And it's she doesn't necessarily want to talk to anybody. She just wants to get the answer to her question, and text can be so much faster. And it's kind of the same thing many times inside of our community. Yes, there's a community component and there's a time and a place for the discussion and that interaction. That is very important. But for a lot of the time, people just want answers. And if we can just get them the answers faster, better, easier, they're underway. And so these three trends, Amy, streamlining the creation process, personalizing the experiences, and this deep AI integration. This is exactly what membership.io is built. And I love what you are doing with the platform in both your courses and your memberships. And it leads us to a pretty big announcement that we are super excited about, because we've talked about, courses and memberships. This has been a big part of your business. We talk about how courses can deliver a quick cash flow for the creator, and it can be a transformative experience for the student. And memberships provide that ongoing support and that predictable revenue. And that's why I'm super excited for a big announcement that we're about to make. But I just want to give you the wrap up. Any final thoughts on the things that we shared here today?
I just love that everything you shared, it works for what I teach, courses, and it works for what you teach, memberships. And so I love that a lot of people that are listening right now, they want both, right, Stu? We've seen I want a membership first and a course next, or I want a course first and a membership next. Imagine if you get to put everything under one platform, that you do not have to go here for this and here for that. I feel like it's so powerful. And so you can build your business any way you want in terms of what you want to offer. And everything that we just talked about can be at your fingertips. So I just feel like I love talking about memberships and courses together because, like I said, they just work.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we've been talking about for years and years and years, how well they go together. And with that, one of the things that I know to be true about you, because I've known you for so long, is that your expertise in the online space, specifically as it relates to digital courses, is truly unparalleled. There's a reason that we call you the course queen, and I wouldn't go anywhere else when it came to any course related information. And you've built an incredible reputation because of the results that you have gotten people over the years. That's why I'm super excited to officially announce that you are joining the membership.io advisory board. Look out!
I'm so excited. It's about time. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. I've been dying to.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So let me ask you, what was behind the decision to join the advisory board for membership.io?
When I started studying membership.io more and more, and when we started to move our courses over, I knew it was going to be good. But what I didn't realize is just how much you all are leading the way and empowering creators to implement these trends that you just talked about. So everything you just talked about has been integrated in membership.io. And so I feel like you're ahead of your times. You've been working on this for a long time, way before all of us were talking about AI every single day. And so when I had the opportunity to join the board, and really the two of us combining forces to speak about what we love so much, courses and memberships and how to support people, I just thought this is my most favorite opportunity. I've never gotten to do something like this before, but I believe in membership.io so very much. You are definitely leading the way. And really, to me, Stu, it's the customization and personalization that membership.io offers that I haven't seen anywhere else. That's what really kind of kept pulling me in, and I'm like, wait a second, this is really, really good. So I just can't wait to keep talking about it and offering my 2 cents along the way.
Well, we're super honored and excited to have you come join us on the advisory board. And I'll just say this, the advantage for membership.io is having you provide your insights and your expertise and your thoughts on how these trends that we're talking about influence course creators and how we can continue to enhance that course delivery experience. Because as we talked about, the more people consume, the better results they get. The better results they get, the better it is for the business. And so we're just very, very grateful to have you come join us and be part of it. With that, 2025 is the year to get ahead, my friends. I want to encourage you to embrace these trends and you'll set yourself up for long-term success. Amy, before we close out, any final thoughts for everybody as it relates to today's conversation?
Well, first of all, I loved this conversation and I think it was an important one to have. I hope that people heard these different trends we're talking about and they want to embrace them. I'm very excited to work closer with you and the membership.io team to help creators build businesses that truly make an impact. I'm so excited about that. And here's what I'll say. Anyone listening right now, I want to encourage you to go check out membership.io. If you haven't done so already, just go check it out and just tinker around with the free trial. I love that you're doing that. Just see how it could really make a difference for your business, but most importantly for those that you serve. You are going to look like the hero because you're giving them something they haven't seen anywhere else, they haven't experienced anywhere else. So just tinker around with membership.io. I promise you, you will not want to leave it.
Well, I appreciate that, Amy. And I'll just say this, on the membership.io side, we are just wholeheartedly committed to 2 specific things. Number 1 is streamlining the process for you as a creator, making your life easier. That's been the focus right from the day one. And then the second part that we focus on is helping create an incredible experience so that people consume more, that they get results, and if they get the results, they're gonna stay in your membership and or they're gonna purchase more from you and talk about you to the world if it's a course. So those are our 2 obsessions, helping streamline things for you. Number 2, helping create an amazing experience for your people. So as Amy said, come check us out at membership.io, jump on the free trial, and we can't wait to support you with your creator journey. So with that, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of the day.
See ya.